Whose feature film in a moment is Kes, the story of a 14-year-old North Country boy who finds an escape from dull routine and an unhappy home life in training a young kestrel. Here on BBC One now, our new pro-celebrity contest of skill behind the wheel, Driving Force.
Welcome to the first ever Driving Force programme. This is Tidworth on the edge of the Salisbury Plain in southern England. Now, to you and I, it may well look like very pretty countryside. To the British Army, it is in fact tank testing ground, and it's the home of the 4th Royal Tank Regiment, which gives you some idea of what this is all about. The event is called the Multipart Challenge. There are 2 days of action compressed into the next 50 minutes, and we plan to get you very excited indeed with some of the most unusual forms of wheeled transport and some great competitors as well. Now, if you or I ever get caught for speeding down the motorways, the chances are the police will come up to your window and say, "Who do you think you are, Stirling Moss?" And if they said it to this man, they'd be dead right. Stirling, some exciting action to come up. You're my co-presenter on this. You looking forward to it?
I think it's going to be terrific. We've got some real man's toys out there, and they're going to play with them. We've got 4 teams, and each team consists of 2 competitors. One, of course, is a professional, and one a celebrity. Let's go and meet them now.
First of all, Rowan Atkinson, top comic performer, the award-winning comic performer, teamed up with award-winning rally driver, Tony Pond. Malcolm Macdonald, former England footballer, now manager of the Fulham football team. He is paired with Nigel Mansell, one of our fastest Grand Prix drivers. Anneka Rice, the action girl from BBC Television's Sporting Chance. She is teamed up with former world hot rod and rallycross champion Barry Lee. And there is the vision of the voice of motor racing for television. Murray Walker is teamed up with 3-time winner of Le Mans, Derek Bell. So, the first of 2 days of action for our 4 pairings. There are 6 events to come, and Rowan Atkinson is heading towards the first. How many times have you wanted to do this? Drive a tank. That is a chieftain tank. Rowan Atkinson in the driving position at the front. Tony Pond is in the turret giving the commands and the directions, and we can eavesdrop on those commands and the conversation through the special intercom on the tank. We also have a cameraman on the top, and there's the shot you can see as he rides shotgun, as it were, looking out across the obstacle course they're going to go round.
Get your eye on the man with the flag now. Go. Go. Second, third, fourth. Right, start slowing her up.
They're off and they are against the clock. This is a timed cross-country course for the tank. We have navigating there Tony Pond, the professional rally driver, Rowan Atkinson edging the tank into the first obstacle on the course. To ensure fair play, there's an observer up in the turret as well. And it's worthwhile bearing in mind that a chieftain tank in these circumstances does no less than 3 gallons to the mile.
Right, watch out. Left, stick. Hard left. Right
now, steering a tank, of course, is not done with a steering wheel as you would on a car. You have what amount to 2 handbrakes inside that driving position where Rowan's sitting. Very cramped indeed. 2 handbrakes, one for the left, one for the right, and that's what spins you round. You lock one track and keep the other one going. You also have a gear change on your left foot, an accelerator on the right foot, and a big brake pedal in the middle to hit if it all goes wrong.
And Mike, those gears, 6 gears, and it's so difficult to know where you are, because when you're sitting up as... Whoa!
That's one of the obstacles gone. Nicely done there. They have to make a clean attempt at that car, and he did that very well indeed. Crushed the car.
He sure did. But I was saying there are 6 gears, and the only way of knowing is to look at a little indicator telling which gear you're in. There's a lot of noise inside the tank.
Now, the final obstacle coming up here on the course. This is a very steep incline towards the finish. Take a look at the clock. 1 minute 30 seconds now they've taken so far to the base of the hill through the water hole there. In fact, they've dodged round the water hole, which is a pretty clever maneuver. It's meant they can keep the momentum up there without slowing down for the hole. Concentration on Rowan Atkinson's face now as he goes down that gearbox. 6 forward gears. I would think he's getting down into second now to take this steep incline towards the finish. About another 100 meters to go up this hill towards the finish.
Keep your foot hard in it.
It's right hard, it's right hard.
Good man. Get ready to flick that gear when he starts to rev. Trying to, that's it, go on. Keep her in, keep her in.
Just to say, keeping in second.
Yeah, go on, go on, go on, go on.
And they're through the finish. 2 minutes, 15.6 seconds, the first time of the day for the tank course. And I reckon that that is going to be a pretty difficult time for anybody to beat. That was an extremely good run by Rowan Atkinson.
How did you enjoy that? That looked terrific.
It was great. It was great fun. It's a very tricky little gearbox that they have on the Chieftain tank, which means that you it's a semi-automatic gearbox like a motorbike. You change it over with your foot, but just at the bottom of the hill there, I couldn't get the low gears for the steep climb.
What about when you went over that car?
I didn't notice it. In fact, I was determined to enjoy the crushing of the car, and then I discovered that I'd done it and I hadn't even noticed. But it was great fun. I can see it being towed away now, and that makes me very happy.
So Nigel Mansell is in the driving position. In the turret commanding the tank is Malcolm Macdonald, and they're ready for their second run. Sidney Alford drops the flag, and away goes the tank with the instructions of Malcolm Macdonald shouting there, "Take it away, Nigel." He heads towards the first obstacle now. 56 tons of Chieftain tank now slipping into that ditch, into the gully. We've got here Captain Philip Warner of the 4th Royal Tank Regiment. What is the method of driving a tank, Philip? What are the tricky bits?
What you've got to remember is it's such a heavy beast, and also it's very difficult to hear the revs when you've got the headset on. Although you have got a rev counter, it's very difficult to see that.
Straight on. Just right, steady. Just right, running. Steady it down. Right.
Now heading through the obstacles again, and watch for the car.
Spot on. Keep it going. Get our foot down. That's a beautiful mess you made of that one, baby.
Captain, last time Rowan actually couldn't get the gears for the hill. How much would that have slowed him up?
Well, I don't think it would have slowed him up at all. I really think that he took that the best way, in second gear and nice and steadily, keeping the revs at a steady pace. But we'll just see how this one goes.
This is a very fast time coming up here, because the last team were about 1 minute 30 here. We're at 1 minute 27. So it looks like we've got a very quick time here for Nigel Mansell. Nigel, one of the most competitive drivers that I've ever met. You can't even play a round of golf with Nigel without it turning into a real stiff competition.
Get up! Good! Good! Up! I'm pushing, I'm pushing! Go on, let it go.
It's going to be 2 minutes. There we are. 2 minutes, 1.5 seconds then for Nigel Mansell going into the lead in driving force on the second run. Sergeant Lee and Corporal Rice here, a very quick time, just over 2 minutes there for the last pairing. What do you reckon you can do on that, Barry?
Just have a go. I think we can beat it.
Now, you're the commander of this tank.
So it would appear, Mike, yeah.
How much control do you really have over this man?
I've got total control. He's a whimpering wreck without me talking to him.
I'm not being funny, Corporal. How do we get it into gear?
Oh, Barry, don't let me down like this.
You've got to let the handbrake off first, that's why it's not going into gear. Once you've let the handbrake off, just flick the pedal up.
Got it, kid.
Barry, pretend it's your lawn
Put
there.
the foot brake on. Foot brake on, he's not ready yet. Take it away.
Barry.
Flick it into gear, away you go.
Emma off.
Flick it up. They're not going in gear.
She won't go in gear, Corporal.
Okay, well, we're going down the hill anyway. Let the brake control it down the gear. It's not going in gear at all.
No. Just going straight into first, straight back into neutral.
Okay. Try your handbrake again. Try pushing it right to the floor. Yeah?
Magic.
Okay, you got it now? You got gears now? That's it. Change up and away we go, boys. Go.
Right, make up there for lost.
Come on, rock on.
Please, lost the space. Thanks, Barry.
So, Barry Lee, former world hot rod champion, rallycross champion, rally driver, circuit racing driver, general all-rounder, tries his hand now at driving something completely different. 56 tons of Chieftain tank, 850 horsepower in the back end of that. And also in the back end of it is Anneka Rice, who's in the turret.
I've got a lot to do, Annie.
Good luck. Okay, first gear, straight up, Barry. Straight on, straight ahead. When you get to the slope, remember you've got to keep to the right. That's where that's flush. So now, yes, you pass through there, keep to the right. Go down that beautiful right. Straighten up. Keep well to the left. Careful of those bollards on the right. That's brilliant. Straight on.
Travis left.
Now keep to the left. That's it. That's
On, Gunner.
perfect. To the right. Straight on. Right. To the left. Right. You're going through the water now. Splash.
Nice and easy on the
Nice and easy. Take it slowly. Take it slowly. Oh, God!
Nice and easy.
Oh, yeah, to the right. That's right. Now take the car on. Try and get it offside with a right wheel. There, we're going over it now. Oh, that's fine. Home stretch now, Barry. Just keep going. You're doing well. You're doing well.
Go for it, kid.
Go on! Don't mind us. Just go on. Oh. That's brilliant! Oh! That's it, now straight on. Remember to miss this greasy bit. Okay, into a low gear, about a second now. And just keep going straight. That's it. That's it. Keep it second. That's brilliant, Barry. Keep it second. And hit third, I should think, any moment now. Go for it.
Come on, you.
Go on!
I'm flat out, darling.
Oh, come on, Barry.
Looking for 2 minutes 1.5.
Well done.
And across the line, 1:42.7. That is an incredible time for Barry Lee and Anneka Rice.
brake on, apply the foot brake, and put the handbrake on.
How about that, Annie, kid?
Well, it looked okay to me, mate.
Well, the wreckage of Barry Lee's Citroen has been cleared from the tracks, and the final pair to go, Derek Bell and Murray Walker. Murray, you're going to be driving this. Are you prepared to listen rather than talk for a change?
We have a plan, Mike, which doesn't involve me doing any talking, but basically it means we've got to absolutely go for it. Barry's done such a fantastic time, and Derek and I are going to go for it, and Derek's going to give me the instructions.
So the final pairing for the tank test here on Driving Force, and going on the form so far, this should be the quickest pairing so far today. We have Murray Walker, former tank commander, now Grand Prix commentator, in the driving position. In the turret, doing the commanding and issuing all the instructions to Murray, the directions as to where to go and how to keep that gun barrel out of the dirt, is Derek Bell, 3 times winner of Le Mans, one of the greatest all-round racing drivers there is in Britain today.
We're on the way. Go. Now! Change up. Yeah, go on, keep it in a second. Change up.
£1.5 million worth of Chieftain tank here, originally designed in the 1950s and still being used as a battle tank today. There are 600 in service, including this one, which we hope will still be in service after today.
Left, keep it in. Full throttle left. Come slowly round. Left, straight up. Whoa, you lost me. It's me. Keep going left, full throttle. It was me. Keep full throttle left a bit. Okay, now right. Well, keep your foot in it, keep your foot in it, keep your foot in it. Go on, keep accelerating. Go on, accelerate. Okay, gently. Okay, now go. Go on, give it some. Go on, left, right. Now left. That's it, keep going left. Go on, left. Go on, right. Straight on, keep going. Go.
The rules say they have to actually make a clean attempt at damaging that car, and that they have done. So now he heads towards the water splash. Let's take a look at the clock. It is 1 minute and 5 seconds so far, 1 minute 6. We're looking for 1:42.7 set by the very rapid Barry Lee and Anneka Rice.
Keep at it. Go on. Down a gear. Go on, down, down. Go on, go, go. Go on, flat to the floor.
I'm flat on the
All right, keep going. Go as you are, go on.
Now.
Go on. Keep going.
Murray will be getting a bit of his own treatment there. Many racing drivers would like to do that to him.
Down again, go on. Go on, belt it. Go on. Go for it. Keep going, his foot on the floor.
Absolutely
Go
flat.
on. Okay, keep going, keep going.
Are they going to make second place or is it going to be third?
Okay.
It's second. 153.4.
Barry won that. Okay, lovely. Put the handbrake on now, stop. Pedal stop. The handbrake fully on.
What was it?
153.4.
Second fast.
Second fastest. What happened?
boy.
What happened when you lost the back end?
I don't know. It just suddenly seemed to slip away, and I didn't get it on square to the car. But I think it probably saved us some time, actually.
And how much notice did you take of your commander?
I took a great deal of notice because Derek can hear the revs so much better than I can, you see. And Derek was saying up one, down one, and I was just going for it.
Oh, well done. Well done. You're second anyway.
So the positions after round one, the tank course of driving force, we have in the lead on 7 points, Anneka Rice and Barry Lee. In second place, it's Murray Walker and Derek Bell. They have 4 points. 2 points for third place go to Malcolm Macdonald and Nigel Mansell. And in fourth position at the moment with 1 point, it's Rowan Atkinson and Tony Pond. Well, the weather has closed in here at Tidworth. The rain has started and we've moved now on to the second stage of Driving Force 84. What we have here, as you can see, is an excavator and a lot of mud. The idea is that each team has got to take part in this with their pair of drivers. This one is Tony Pond and Rowan Atkinson. First of all, Rowan Atkinson is going to have to dig a ditch that is 6 feet long, 3 feet deep and 1 scoop wide. Then he has to get out of the cab, take a tea break like all good road workers, and then pass the thermos flask over to his next partner, which is Tony Pond. He gets in, turns the dig around and fills the hole in. Let's see how they get on.
There I was, digging his hole in the ground, so big and sort of round it was, and there was I, digging it deep. It was flat at the bottom and the sides were steep. When along comes this bloke in a bowler, which he lifted and scratched his head. Whoa, he looked down the hole, poor demented soul, and he said, do you mind if I make a suggestion? Don't dig it there, dig it elsewhere. You're digging it round and it ought to be square. The shape of it's wrong, it's much too long, and you can't put a hole where a hole don't belong. I ask, what a liberty, eh? Nearly bashed him right in the bowler. Well, there was I, stood in me hole, shoveling earth. For all that I was worth, I wasn't. There was him, standing up there so grand and official, with his nose in the air. So I gave him a look sort of sideways, and I leaned on me shovel and sighed. Whoa, I lit me a fag, and having to go drag, I replied, I just couldn't bear to dig it elsewhere. I'm digging it round 'cause I don't want it square. And if you disagree, it doesn't bother me. That's the place where the hole's gonna be. Well, there we were discussing this hole in the ground, so big and sort of round it was. It's not there now. The ground's all flat, and beneath it is the bloke in the bowler hat. And that's that.
Well, I must say that we've got quite a mess down here now. We've got these diggers all over the place. Poor old Derek Bell's still going on, still trying to finish digging the hole. He's having some sort of problem, having to push himself back. The other ones are spinning around in all the quagmire. And, of course, meanwhile, the winners, of course, have finished, parked their vehicle, had their cup of tea and gone. And the others are still racing away here. Well, Derek, yours wasn't as good as it might have been, was it?
It was absolutely diabolical. I was just so disappointed. I've never been to pieces like that before. I'm much more controlling a racing car.
What was the problem? What was your big problem
I
then?
was all arms and elbows and fingers and thumbs. I couldn't believe it. You know, I just couldn't do anything right. Where the hell's Murray going now?
Rowan, is it more difficult than it looks?
You've got two levers which move in 4 directions. If you lose your, you know, you can go sort of the lever equivalent of word blind, and you lose yourself, and suddenly you think, I don't know what to do next. I don't know what to do next.
He's finished. The yellow flag is up. That was 18 minutes and 13 seconds, which in itself was an endurance race, and I suppose as Derek Bell was part of the team, that's fair enough.
You've got style, even if you're not much good.
This was not my finest hour, was it?
So the scoreboard after 2 events of driving force, Anneka Rice and Barry Lee win the first 2 events. They've got 14 points. It looks like Murray Walker and Derek Bell are digging a hole with 5, but Rowan Atkinson and Tony Pond are a bit below them with 3 points. And so we arrive at stage 3 of the driving force, the halfway test this, and it's the sporting trial. Now, Stirling's driven and competed in these cars. What's so different about them?
Well, Mike, the thing you do, you sacrifice everything for adhesion and manoeuvrability. You'll notice there's very little weight on the front, the engine's set back as far as the regs will allow, the tyres are let down to about 2 pounds, and you've got power, quite a lot of power, but most of all, you've got these things. These are fiddle brakes, and those are the things you steer with, and they help you get the manoeuvrability through these posts.
Oh,
how about showing the people?
Right, let's give it a go. I'll put the fan on. Ignition. In first gear, 2 fiddle brakes there, hand on the wheel. There we go.
Going through here.
On the right fiddle brake and hard right, look. Oh! And what they've got to do is not take down the red and white posts. We'll see you in a while. Each team has 2 drives at this course. The celebrity driver will go first of all, then the professional will go later on. Murray Walker has already been out on the course. He has failed at the first gate, but continues for a victory roll.
Gently, gently. Too fast. I think I'm getting out, Murray. I think it's time to go.
Encouragement there from other competitors for Rowan Atkinson. Up to gate number 1. That's not too bad. Gate number 1 he's got through there. Now through 2, that's where Murray Walker failed. Has he done it? Yes, he's got through there, so he's done better than Murray Walker. And he's now heading for gate 3. 1200cc engine car this, with custom-built chassis and bodywork. Motorcycle front tyres, normal road tyres on the back. They are not scramble tyres or anything like that, or cross-country tyres. They are normal road tyres bolted to the rims and run at just 2 pounds pressure for the maximum adhesion. And Rowan Atkinson is taking his time. He was the smoothest tank driver, and he's certainly proving to be very good in this trials car. For a man who says he prefers to drive large machinery, he's doing very well indeed. Yes, up the hill, gate 11, which was thought to be a very tricky one. And there he is. He's he's just clipped number 12. Now, that was a very good run for Rowan Atkinson. He will be given gate 11 on that, which is a tremendous run. An unfortunate clip of the flag at the end there at gate number 12. This pairing in second position in the driving force at the moment. They are 8 points behind Barry Lee and Anneka Rice, so they've got quite a way to make up. Malcolm Macdonald at the wheel. Nigel Mansell is his bouncer for this. You may wonder why they have another person in there. Well, it is because he's supposed to bounce him around the turns and add a bit of weight there. There you can see Nigel giving a bit of hand by bouncing around, leaning over much as someone riding on a motorcycle sidecar would do to help that round the corners. Taking it nice and steady, as he said he would, through gate number 3, using that fiddle brake to slide round there, charge up the hill. Good punchy acceleration on this car with the 1200cc engine, very lightweight body. You can actually lift up the front end of the car with one hand, and that engine is in the front end. Very calm style here from Malcolm Macdonald. Remember, time is not really important on this. It is furthest clean that matters. Time will be a decider in the event of a tie-break being necessary. They've got to get through 12 gates clean. And it looks like they're set to beat Rowan Atkinson. They've got to take it through gate 12 nice and steadily. No pressure for time, and that's it. So Malcolm Macdonald takes the lead, and his time was 1 minute 14.2 seconds through the 12th gate, and goes into the lead on the sporting trials.
Thanks, Lily.
So we're now with the current leaders of driving force. They have won the first 2 events. This is their 3rd event. Are they going to win this one? It's Anneka Rice and Barry Lee. Anneka is going to do the driving for the first test. The pressure is now on because Malcolm Macdonald did that clear round with a 1:14.2. So the clock is all important now, but of course they've got to clear the course as well.
I think this is quite hysterical. I'm sorry.
What gear are you in?
I've no idea. It's just I left it the same as the last person.
So what's going to be your tactic?
My tactics is to get past 1. If I can do that, I'll be laughing.
Great, good luck.
Little bit of acceleration. Go on. Accelerate hard. Right there, ready. Go on. Take the throttle off. Down there. That's it. Slowly. It's all right. Nice and slow. Right round to the right. Through 7. Oh, up here, baby. Up here. That's it. Right. Yes. Up there. Barry. Keep it going. Just accelerate. Straight out. Flat out. Go for it, baby. Turn the wheel the other way. Keep it going, darling. Round 5. Wonderful. It's all right. We're there. Round 6. Slow down. Don't laugh. To the right. Right, okay.
Barry Lee has raced and rallycrossed in these conditions many times before. Some very muddy Linden Hill rallycrosses back in the late 1970s and late 60s.
10.
He's having fun and she's having fun, and that's really what it's all about.
Flat out. Go on, babe. Hit it.
Go on, Anneka. No, that's a fail. That is a fail. That car has come to a halt, and no amount of bouncing from flyweight Barry Lee is going to do it any good. It's a good job it's got specially strengthened back wheels.
Well, Sidney, you're the referee. How many points does she get for that?
Well, she gets 3 because you may have seen she did this little dance down the bottom here, and that's not allowed. You have to go through the gates directly. You can't come back and form your own course. The whole idea of the gates is so that you go through them. I'm very sorry, but 3 it is.
So that little Torvill and Dean misdemeanor for Anneka Rice means that she's knocked well down the running order for the celebrities there. She finishes 3rd with her 3 gates. Way up front we have Rowan Atkinson on 11 and Malcolm Macdonald, who is on 12 gates. Next up, it's the professionals. Barry Lee with Anneka Rice in the passenger seat. She's got to keep her body inside the passenger compartment, as has he, actually. So getting out of it like he did before is completely illegal. Slides it nicely through gate number 2 there. Nicely done by Barry Lee. He was one of the originators of the sideways driving technique in Britain as far as rallycross and rally driving were concerned, and used to thrill us all on grandstand with some spectacular driving in the old rallycross days. Complete broadside slides in Ford Escorts across the mud and the slime.
Hold tight now, Annie. Really jump up and down as soon as I get through this gate, darling.
Oh, and he's failed. That is a fail. He has taken out flag number 11, which means that he will be given gate number 10. That will be his score. Barry Lee fails at gate 11.
Face to the ground.
So the total scoring for that pairing, 13 gates, just ahead of Murray Walker and Derek Bell, who had a total score of 11 gates. Here we go. Nigel Mansell, the Grand Prix driver for the JPS team, is in the driving seat, doing a very quick job there. That's it. He's now taken the lead in this event. Now, whether he can hang on to that lead against Tony Pond, who's going to be coming up next, is a different matter. So he better just get as far as he can in this event. Bear in mind that Nigel is primarily a tarmac surface driver. He's used to whizzing the old Grand Prix cars around, started in Formula Ford and go-karts and things, but hasn't had a lot of loose surface experience.
Steady down.
Tremendous! I didn't think you were going to do 11. I thought you'd knackered 11 right up. I thought you'd done the same as Barry had just done.
So into the lead on the sporting trials go Nigel Mansell and Malcolm Macdonald with a maximum score.
Magnificent.
Congratulations.
Thanks very much. Yeah, I think there was 2 or 3 gates just a little tighter, so I think I was very lucky to get up 11 because I went to the side like Barry did, but I just managed to come back in time.
How did you manage to stop him going the same way as Barry did?
I haven't got a clue.
I think it was a pram more than anything that I was saying over here.
I think it was Malcolm going, get over.
Well done.
A few points.
Nearly found that bar.
Yes, I'll race you to it. I want the hairdryer first.
This pairing now, Tony Pond and Rowan Atkinson have to clear through 3 gates to take second place. First place is unassailable. It's a clean 24 for Nigel Mansell and Malcolm Macdonald. There is the 3rd gate, and they're through. So into second place they go. Let's just see how well they do on the rest of the course. Sliding there through number 7, taking nice and steady Tony Pond. Tony is a very, very rapid rally driver, one of the quickest rally drivers in the world. But not quick enough to defeat that hill. That's a fail for Tony Pond there at gate number 11. So let's take a look at the scores overall and see what's going on. Winners of this event, Nigel Mansell and Malcolm Macdonald, go up to 2nd overall. Anneka Rice and Barry Lee were 3rd in this event. They retain their lead. Down at the bottom end, Murray Walker and Derek Bell lagging behind with 6 points. Day 2 of Driving Force kicks off with an event that is extremely close to my heart and my right foot. This is Thruxton Motor Racing Circuit for our 2nd location, and on this circuit we have laid out this rally special stage. The pairs of drivers have to go round it together in the same car, with the celebrity driving first, the professional navigating, and the most important part is the changeover at the end of the celebrity's run. Murray Walker has just done his run. He's about to hand over to Derek Bell. Now, the clock still runs. We're just coming up towards 2 minutes as they change over and the pro gets in.
Don't lose the belt.
Wait, hurry up, hurry up. Go!
Full seat harnesses on those seats to help them out to actually hold them in position. Time so far for Derek Bell driving this car, and this could well be the event for this pair. They're doing extremely well. Those tyres are really taking a battering at the front end.
Yeah, but he's really getting on it now. You watch when he comes around here. That is very difficult. It's much more difficult than shows on the picture, you know.
It's very slippery there, and that change of surface can catch a few people out, particularly just there. There's chalk at that gateway with water on top of it. Murray's giving a little bit of advice. We almost took a sign out there with the tail end of the car. Now on to the artificial part of this course. This is an artificial skid pan. Very slippery indeed, a bit like ice on the skid pan. Derek's got to gingerly get it round there, and the front-wheel drive of this car should help him in that task.
Come on, go in, you devil.
It's very slippery coming out of this one.
Okay.
Watch it. Right, go!
Now, it's flat out, all the way back up the hill now, towards the gateway, and a right-hand turn at the top. Watch Derek Bell take this right-hand turn.
Yes.
It should be very quick indeed. Just on the brakes briefly there.
Keep it going!
Keep it going, says Murray. Keep it going. He's got to go straight through the finish line, and there's the time. 3 minutes, 50.7 seconds, and a little bit of a victory spin there from Derek Bell.
Well, that should give him something to think about with a bit of luck.
3 minutes and 50 seconds was the time from Murray Walker and Derek Bell there. Murray says that nobody's going to beat it. Are you?
Well, we didn't get our practice last night because, of course, Barry had to get home to do his hair. But I don't know, Mike. Honestly, I've literally only just got behind the wheel and I don't know what to expect. I don't know what's going to happen, but I feel like a goldfish.
Slow down, slow down, slow down. Brake, 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 brake. Nice and gentle. Turn hard right. Go on, darling. Accelerate away now. Accelerate away. Stay in that gear, darling. Don't change gear yet. Stay to the right-hand
The
side.
overnight leaders of driving force, Anneka Rice at the steering wheel of the Escort, Barry Lee, the pro rallycross and hot rod driver, giving the instructions from that passenger seat. Just listen.
Okay, off the throttle now, stay in second. Brake, nice and tight here. Lovely. Flat out now, Annie. Keep going down to the road there to the right. A little bit harder. Right, start braking now, Annie, and it's very tight round here. Stay in second gear, brake harder, brake harder. That's it, round here, nice and slow. Nice and tight, darling. We're going onto the grass in a minute, so nice and slow. Straight up, slow down. Brake, Annie. Turn right through there. Beautiful, love. Hard right. Right down here, stay in second gear, you're quite all right. Slow up, Annie.
1 minute,
brake.
7 seconds so far. So a nice time coming up from Anneka Rice. Taking it nice and steady on this very slippery skid pan.
Barry's doing a great job with his instructions, and she appears to be taking notice of them, which is some going, you know, in the heat of the moment.
You're okay, relax, you're fine. Round there. That's it, babe. I'll tell you when to accelerate hard, round here. Right, flat out now, Annie, onto the boards. Onto the board, babe. Straight up. Slow up, slow up, slow up, slow up. Round to the right, babe. Don't forget to stop astride that line, flat out. Straight up there, stop. Stop, slow, whoa. Brake hard, darling. That's it. How'd you get? I've got the handbrake on, don't worry about it.
Just by a couple of inches there, she's got astride the line.
Only just, but that was enough.
Now, seatbelts off, round. The difficulty here is with the full-face helmet on is that you can't see the seatbelt buckle when you get back in. It's very difficult to see what you're doing, but Barry's all right. Is Anneka going to get her belts on? Because you get disqualified if you haven't got your belts on. He's started and he's away. Now, watch this man. This man is racing an Escort similar to this in British Saloon Car Racing this year, and he's rallied Escorts for many years, rally and rallycross. A nice handbrake turn from Barry Lee into first gear and pulling out of the hairpin, although I would think that was a little bit slower than Derek Bell.
It was actually, he lost some, then he had it on too long and didn't get his power in quite early enough. If one's honest about it, I think that it was still quite good, but I think it could be quicker.
Talk to me, Annie.
I'm sorry, Barry. I was just trying to pretend that I was just driving home this evening.
Nearly over, babe.
Oh, God.
Here's the time. Look at this. This is what we're trying to beat on the left of your screen. Is 3:50.7 for Derek Bell and Murray Walker. Look at this. We've got 3 seconds to go, 2 seconds to go, 1 second to go. No, they have not done it. It was a 3:52.8. So the overnight leaders so far second on this test. They need to keep up the maximum scores to maintain their lead, and a very good score so far for Murray Walker and Derek Bell. When you were navigating, there was lots of noise coming from you giving instructions. There was absolute silence when she was navigating.
I didn't think she was sitting there, but, you
I
know.
was sitting there, I was so scared, and halfway around Barry says, talk to me. I'm like, God, my leg's just twitching.
Driving this car now is Tony Pond, winner of almost 30 international rallies. He is partnering Rowan Atkinson. Rowan has so far set the fastest celebrity time on the rally special stage. This should be a demonstration of rally driving at its best. Right to the ragged edge there, almost taking those straw bales out. Behind the trees, onto the loose surface now, slippery tarmac, hanging a wheel over the edge of the tarmac there to try and hold the car on, because it's quite a drop away on that corner. And through the gateway. 3 minutes and 4 seconds so far, so he's got to go something. He's got 3/4 of a minute to get round the skid pan and back to the finish line to take the lead. And they need to take the lead if they're going to be in with a chance of winning this total event driving force. Sliding round those pylons. Mustn't take any of those pylons out.
Went a bit wide there. See the wheel spin on the front wheels then, couldn't you, quite graphically?
The pressure is certainly on Tony Pond. I think he knows what pressure is on him here. .345 as they go through the right-hand turn. He's got 5 seconds, 4. Oh, it's going to be so close. Will he get second place? Oh, Oh, it is so close. I believe he has taken second place there by something like 0.4 of a second. Barry Lee and Anneka Rice got 3:52.8. Rowan and Tony take 3:52.4 and second place, but still leading, it's Murray Walker and Derek Bell on their best event so far. Maximum points on this event will put you in with a chance of overall victory, Nigel.
Yes, I think this is a very important event for us. Malcolm's very good, I've seen him drive, so I think we stand as good a chance as any one of them.
It seems like overnight, not only have we had a bit of relaxation, but people are also taking it a lot more seriously this morning. Malcolm?
Very much so. Oh, yes, it's a very, very keen competition by us all, and it's still tight. And we've now got the rally stage, and we do feel that we've got a chance of maybe getting into the lead.
Go, go, go! Go.
Second overall at the moment.
Go.
Malcolm Macdonald is completing his run. Nigel Mansell is doing the nagging from the co-driver's seat.
Okay, second, slow down. Right, round. Right, keep us
This could be good if they can get a good changeover now. Coming up to 1:45 as they hit the line now. So they've got about a second in hand already on the last run that we had.
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on.
Bad.
This is all important. They could lose a lot of time here, couldn't they?
That was a bad changeover.
Got to get those belts done up. It's gone past 2 minutes. The pressure is on. Nigel Mansell, the Grand Prix driver now. Now, he's used to cross-country work. He's done a few rally sprints, but he's mainly a circuit man. He's raced around this Thruxton circuit many times when he's in his Formula Ford and Formula 3 days. Watch him whiz this round now. Front-wheel drive escort. He's not used to front-wheel drive. His Grand Prix car has the engine over the back wheels and drives the back wheels. Up to the chicane now. It's got very quiet from Malcolm Macdonald, but very noisy from the tyre department as those tyres launch the wheel arches. He's almost taken the chicane there. Congratulations from Malcolm Macdonald there. Through the bend. 2 minutes, 40 seconds. He takes the straw bales. He's getting very close to the limit here. Super competitive, Nigel Mansell. Super fit man as well. Trains extremely hard for his motor racing. And looking good here, Stirling.
Yes, he was a little bit over-exuberant, I thought, out of the chicane.
It just gets a bit slippery as you go through. Come on, baby! Come on. No, those clocks are going slow. Come on, you beauty! Keep turning, these tyres. These tyres are flipping. Come on! Come on! Come on! Sugar me! Yeah, they moved, somebody's moved the flat. There's no grip on the tyre. Come on, baby, go! Come on, go! Come on. Come on! Them on the trees, they'll look after themselves.
They are looking to go into the joint lead of driving force overall. Are they going to do it? He goes through the right-hander. 3 minutes and 40 seconds. What, 41, 42. He's going to get across that line. He's going to take the lead. They've done it. They have done it. 3:46.5, the fastest time so far. Lots of tyre smoke to finish off with. And we have joint leaders on driving force. Let's catch up with them.
That seemed ever so slow through the flipping skid pad. I know, but you did very well.
A look at the driving force scoreboard after 4 events, and this is what it looks like. A change at the top end. Malcolm Macdonald and Nigel Mansell there with 20 points now. Maximum points on this event. Anneka Rice and Barry Lee with one of their worst events. They got 1 point in last place. They have 17 points overall. Best event yet for Derek Bell and Murray Walker. They elevate themselves up to 3rd place with 10 points. And at the back at the moment, it's Rowan Atkinson and Tony Pond on 9.
Well, now for the penultimate test. We've got what must be every schoolboy's dream, and that's to take one of these great big juggernauts and drive it in and out of the barrels and park it. Well, it sounds very simple, and it is very easy to drive. The only problem is, of course, that the thing is 50 foot long. It'll carry 40 tons. It's got 290 horsepower turbocharged engine, and I've got 10-speed gearbox over here.
So, first off, it's Anneka Rice and Barry Lee. Anneka electing to take the driving seat on this occasion. They'll change over when they get to the top. Into the slalom they go. They must not touch the grass. They must not touch those yellow barrels. If they do, there'll be a 5-second penalty each time they do it.
Right, darling. Not to pass, not to pass. Over to that white line. Back a bit. Hard round, babe. Hard round to the left, to the left. You're okay. You're okay. Keep going, darling. You're all right, but don't worry about it. I'll put the wipers off. Straight up to that chicane.
How do you turn the wipers off, says Barry Lee. They've done it. They've got the wipers off.
That was a very good attempt, though, Mike. I think that was very good.
Slowly, slowly, slowly. Over to there. Over more. Right, hard round, Nanny, to the left. Hard round to the left. Slow right up now, love. Slow up. Right to the left.
Well, he didn't before. I think it's
all right, go on. Over to the left, Annie.
Now into the garage. Now, the cleaner she can get into this garage, the straighter, the easier it will be for Barry to reverse the vehicle out. And she stops. She found those air brakes a bit suddenly, didn't she, Stirling?
Yeah, they are very sudden. She's got to get, I don't know if that's far enough ahead, but they are very, very severe, those brakes.
Barry Lee is now reversing out. She doesn't have to get back into it because she's going to help him out with the reversing. He's reversing on his blind side now as he comes out of here. Oh, he's so close to an oil drum.
One thing about these trucks, I understand from the experts that if you can get them lined right up, then you can, if you're very careful, come more or less straight back. Not easy.
Almost 3 minutes, and they are making a long meal of getting this truck in backwards. I'm very glad I haven't met Barry Lee driving a truck at any time. But he's in there, and watch that barrel as the cab crosses the line, the clock stops, and there we go. 3 minutes, 5.7. And there are no penalties on that first run either. Next up, it's Rowan Atkinson.
Yes, it's about 1.5 years, I think, since I drove a truck. I got my HGV test, but it was about 2 years ago now, and I've hardly driven at all since. And in particular, I've hardly reversed since, which is the most difficult thing that you can try and do in an articulated truck. So it's going to be interesting.
So now you know just how difficult it is to get an HGV license. On this run, this is Tony Pond driving the first leg. Rowan Atkinson is going to do the reversing, which is the most difficult part. And don't forget those rules. They must not go on the grass. They must not touch the yellow barrels.
Just slightly left of centre.
Rowan Atkinson has probably the most relaxed approach of all the competitors in driving force, and he should be fairly relaxed about the truck driving. It's a very quick time so far. They have got themselves something like 1.5 minutes in hand to get this truck backed into the garage. Doing very well, aren't they, Stirling?
I think they do extremely well. You notice he's very little steering, the thing's going steadily, not that fast, but it's quite quick when you've got 50 foot or just about that behind you. I'll say one thing, that it is very difficult sometimes to get it into gear, not to go from one to another, but from stationary. And I noticed then he had a little bit of a hold up on that, but look at that, beautiful.
Watch that line.
No.
Watch that line and watch those bollards. He's getting ever so close there, and the cab's not over the line yet. 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Get that cab over the line. There it goes. 2:42.6 plus a 5-second penalty. That makes it 2:47.6 for Rowan Atkinson and Tony Pond, who now take the lead in the truck driving event. And from the relaxed style of Rowan Atkinson, let's now go back into the cab and join Murray Walker and Derek Bell.
Keep out there, not too... Now, in you go, go on. Go on, in you go. Okay, now turn, not too tight, not too tight. Oh, Murray, me. Oh, out there, man. You're going to hit the other one now. Keep over here. Now, go on, go for it. Flat on the floor. Flat on the floor. Go up a gear then.
No, I'm staying in this one now.
Keep out there. Now keep down here. Now slow down. In you go. Keep over here. That's it. Okay, now straight in. Go on, up to the end. Keep left. That's it. Keep left a bit. Okay. Okay. Don't stall the thing. Oh, God. Okay, quick. Out. Sorry, I didn't mean to swear at you. Go on. How do you start?
The frustrations of a long-distance truck driver, that's what this pairing is learning all about. Murray Walker is now out of the cab and can use that famous voice of his to advantage here for some directions.
Derek,
Derek! Derek, no, come forward.
Derek Bell, 3 times winner of Le Mans, a cool, calm driver, normally.
How am I doing? Right. You're right, go on that way, that way. No!
This shunting backwards and forwards is, of course, losing a lot of time. It lost a lot of time for Malcolm Macdonald and Nigel Mansell on their run.
Boy, he's really going backwards with that.
And that's it. 3:33.9 plus a fair few penalties there to knock them down the running order. But not a bad attempt, and some good running about for Murray Walker.
I think the moral actually is, if you can't do it well, then make a fool of yourself.
Do that all right.
The driving force scoreboard after 5 events looks like this, and how close it is. Still leading Nigel Mansell and Malcolm Macdonald on 22 points. Closing up behind in 2nd place with 21 points, it's Anneka Rice and Barry Lee. In 3rd place, moving up with 16 points, Tony Pond and Rowan Atkinson after an excellent run in the trucks. And in 4th place, it's Derek Bell and Murray Walker.
1, 2, 3.
So, the result of driving force relies upon this event, the final event in driving force. It's a static event. We have 4 identical cars there. They have got in the back of them a jack and a spare wheel, and the front wheels have got to be changed. Let's see how they get on. It's a standard jack, isn't it, Stirling?
Yeah, quite difficult to get in, particularly when somebody's taking the wheel off, as you've got here, as you can see. I don't think anybody would be penalised for jumping the start, although some were a little bit eager, I think.
Of course, the lucky thing is they're doing this in sunny, dry weather conditions. Normally, when you get a puncture, it always seems to be raining, doesn't it? There's Rowan and Tony. Rowan and Tony in with a chance now, having been behind at the start of today. They're now in with a chance of winning the competition. There's Derek Bell and Murray Walker. They are still struggling. Murray seems to be handling the nuts. And Derek, the wheel brace there. They're winding the car down. In the lead at the moment, then, it is Tony Pond and Rowan Atkinson on the extreme right-hand side of your picture. There's Rowan Atkinson now.
Yeah, and I'll tell you that Tony lifted the car up bodily on one side, and they got the jack in very quickly indeed. I don't know if they even bothered to wind it down at all, because obviously these jacks do take a while, because they're on a thread, but lifting it is by far the quickest way if you've got the strength to do it.
I need the wheel brace. I need the wheel brace now, too.
And also, once the wheels have been changed, the spare wheel has to be put in its correct place in the boot, the jack put back in the boot, the wheel brace in there, tailgate shut, doors open, drivers in, and they have to start the engine. As soon as that engine is started, our clock stops. But in the lead at the moment, it is most definitely this pair. Tony Pond, the rally driver and racing driver, Rowan Atkinson, the comedian. They've done it, but they've got to get into the car now and start the engine. Let's look for the hand of the marshal to go up to say that the engine has started. And there it is, 2 minutes, 44.7 and 7 maximum points. That gives them 23 points. They've gone into the lead of driving force. Now, who is going to finish second? It's who finishes second that determines this event. If Nigel Mansell and Malcolm Macdonald finish second, or Anneka Rice and Barry Lee, then it's most definitely going to be their competition.
Andy, I've got the key.
So Nigel Mansell, he's left the key in the tailgate, and Malcolm Macdonald's still stuck around that front wheel somewhere. And there's Barry Lee and Anneka Rice. Looks like they're going to get second place now because they've got the engine started. So they take second place, which could give them the overall win. Let's take a look now. Oh, Murray Walker and Derek Bell are going to get third. Are they going to get third? They have, because Nigel Mansell has still not got his car started. So let's take a look at the overall results for driving force. Anneka Rice and Barry Lee, first overall with 25 points. Joint second on 23, Malcolm and Nigel, Rowan and Tony. Murray and Derek bringing up the rear on 13 points. And there are some worthy winners for driving force. They will receive their trophies from Andy Buchan, merchandising manager for Multipart. And that brings to an end 2 tremendous days of competition, some good events, some great competitors, and a nail-biting finish.
In half an hour on BBC One, we again meet the kids at the New York High School of the Arts in Fame. That's after another quiz show with Paul Daniels, Odd One Out.
Penny Mannings is back to take on some new contenders in this week's Odd One Out.
One out in case you've tuned in and missed the titles, and the title tells you exactly how to play the game. If you want to join in at home, you can. What happens is on a board like this, you'll see it on your screen. Look at that, a painting, a carpet, a pheasant, and a politician. And a carpet becomes orange when somebody picks the right one. That tells you it's the odd one out. Okay? And what happens there is you then have to find out what the others have in common. And your head says immediately, carpet goes on the floor, all the others should be hung. Who are the contestants? They are. Round of applause for our lovely contestants. Hey there! Hi. If you tuned in last week, you'll have noticed she won a set of crystal glasses, she won a telephone answering machine, didn't you?